Hi everyone, it's Cass. Welcome back to my channel, What Cass Read. Hello, Happy New Year. Long time no see. I am bringing you a video from the top-down perspective because as you can see, we are here today with my 2024 reading journal setup. Does it need any more introduction than this? Let's go ahead and get started. I can't wait to show this to you. I can't wait to say hi and talk to you all. Boy, the end of 2023, it was not as good of a reading year as the beginning of my 2023. That is for sure. So I'm excited because 2024 is already off to a really great start. And I've got the reading journal set up, ready to go. I think it's always the setup of the reading journal that really ignites my excitement. Yeah, just to dive back into it. So I guess to let you all know, this is an 8x8 Archer and Olive bullet journal, and I have amassed a collection of them, and I really do enjoy this size for the reading journal. But I will say that I'm not as huge of a fan of Archer and Olive as I used to be. This kind of looks a little bit odd because I actually did have to take my bookbinding glue and fix this because it was separated from the cover. So that's why that first page looks kind of odd. But anyways, all that to say that that's the notebook that I will be using for 2024. That's what I used in 2023, and it worked out really well for me. And if you've seen that video, I'll go ahead and link that below. But that reading journal setup is pretty much what I have done again for this year. There's a lot of inspiration that I took in that particular reading journal, and it was a spread and kind of a system that worked well for me. So the decorations that you're going to see in the first half of this setup, I used from Paper Minty Studio. I had purchased their fall kit, their fall collection. And when I purchased that and used it in my bullet journal, I didn't use all of the stickers. There was still so much left, and I really didn't want it to go to waste. So I tried to repurpose as many of those items as I could into my reading journal and went with a very earth-toned reading journal vibe. Tried to keep as many pumpkins out of it so it wouldn't seem so in your face, this is a fall collection of stickers. And I think I did a pretty good job. So that's where the sheets of paper came from. That's where all the stickers in the washi are from. And then I used my trusty alphabet stamp kit to stamp all of my titles. Okay, so if you're inspired to set up something quite similar, the 3 Tombow markers that I used for this setup were 977, 992 is my standard go-to Tombow, and then I use Tombow 158 for the green accents in here. Unfortunately, this Paper Minty Studio sticker set is not available for purchase anymore, so I don't want to harbor too much on that, but check out her collections when she launches them. They're great. So to start the reading journal off, I have created my index table of contents at the beginning. And so this is where I used a lot of that green marker that you can see. Last year, the theme, I used this marker quite heavily, which was the 992. So I definitely wanted to keep the same style, but have a bit of visual color difference just for my sake. And since I chose this wonderful green color from Archer and Olive, I thought that would complement it nicely. All right, and then I went straight into my 2024 reading tracker. As you can see, I've already finished 3 books for the year, and I did 2 pages to have 50 and then go up to 100. My reading goal is not to do 100 books. I come kind of close. Last year, I think I was at 82. But basically, my Goodreads goal and my reading journal goal are never aligned. Goodreads, I always put 12 books just for the sake of finishing Goodreads. But my internal goal is typically 50 books. And then last year when I surpassed 50 books and I went past that, I didn't have this already set up if I did go past that 50 book mark. So I wanted to have 100 boxes just in case I did go past that 50 book goal. After I set this up, I did realize that I probably didn't need 2 pages to do this. I definitely could have smushed 100 books onto one spread, but I had already created this I had already started like counting out squares and like creating this spread before that thought even occurred to me. So that's why I have 2 different pages for my reading tracker. Okay. And then here I have my bookshelf. I love doing this spread. This has been like a standard go-to book spread for me for a very long time. So this is my bookshelf. And whenever I finish a book, I go ahead and put it on the shelf. And this is where I list like the true goal. Like the true goal is going to be the 50 book mark. And then I did this last year. This was the first time I tried it, and I liked that. I'm going to color code with these 3 colors, physical, audio, and ebook. So hopefully when I'm all done for the year and have like my bookshelf filled out, there'll be all kinds of colors in there of the different formats that the books were in. All right, and then here is my tracker for all the books that I hope to read. So I still have to print off book number 3, but this is, I just love how this gets filled out, of having, you know, the book covers and then at a quick glance what I was rating every book. And so I had to do a lot more pages this year than I did last year and make sure I had enough. So I went all the way to 100 here. And so I've got enough for 100 in case I get to that point. And all the star stickers are from Arc Creations on Etsy. I've always purchased from them because I knew they carried the 5-star tracker, and so I just keep reordering them whenever I need them. Lots of star stickers come on that sheet, which is really helpful. Okay, and then over here I have my series tracker. So I started this last year because we all love reading book series and I wanted to see like my progress. The difference between this series tracker and some other series trackers you might see in reading journals is I'm not, like, I have a separate Excel spreadsheet of all of my stats and everything, including the active number of series that I'm in. And because that number is so large, there's no way I'm going to put all of the series that I'm currently reading on a series tracker in a bullet journal. So this is just for 2024. The book series that I have begun or started or finished in 2024. Sorry, can you hear that weed whacker? There's like someone doing lawn work outside. I'm very sorry about that. Okay, so the idea is that I'll basically fill in a box when I finish a book. So the 2 colors that I used there, I used a gray marker because I read 5 books in the Ravenel series last year, and then I finished the series at the beginning of this month already. And then I started on the Bridgerton series, so that's why there's 2 different colors there. The green books are the ones that I've read this year, and then that's just how I'm differentiating between the 2. Bringing back my reading goals bingo card. And there's like nothing to it other than I try and get blackout bingo, obviously, but it's more of like a visually exciting way for me to track my reading goals for the year. So some of the things I have on here: to read Stephen King, translated work, POC author, a used book, a short story, historical romance buddy read a classic. I'm so bad at finding classics to read. A new to me author, a horror, an LGBTQ author, indie author, Beverly Jenkins. I loved her so much last year and only read 1 book of hers, so I want to read more. My overall goal of reading 50 books, read a graphic novel, high fantasy, over 500 pages, something nonfiction, young adult fantasy, a borrowed book, mystery thriller, finish a series, science fiction, and a debut. So that's just my fun way of tracking my goals. On this page, this is a new spread from last year. I didn't actually have a spread of all the books that I had DNF'd and realized like, wow, I do want to keep track of that. So I just added one, and hopefully this list doesn't get too long. Last year, I only DNF'd 8 books. So like 10% of what I was reading, which isn't bad. And that number is pretty consistent. I think I never get to the double digits when it comes to DNFing. And then I wanted a separate page for any readathons and challenges that I might participate in. Last year was like really, really slow in terms of my reading. Actually, no, that's a lie. The first half of the year was really great. The second half of the year totally tanked. And I can basically I can summarize my second half of last year by one book. Not that I only read one book for the second half of the year, but I only had one book in the second half of the year that like really deeply moved me. That was Manacled, fan fiction. So anyways, if I participate in any readathons and challenges, that's always super fun for me. So I wanted a spot to document that. And then here is the first law along, and I'm still doing that with the Catch Up Book Club. So I wanted to make sure I had a spread of the 4 remaining books that we have in the first law world, written by Joe Abercrombie. So we've got Sharp Ends, and then we'll be starting on the next trilogy, beginning with A Little Hatred, The Trouble with Peace, and The Wisdom of Crowds. Okay, so this is a new kind of twist that I decided to do for like reading tracking as well. Last year, I don't know what I was thinking, I hand drew out all of the calendars for every month. Each month had a page, and it looked lovely. It really did. But I was not feeling drawing all the calendars. I wasn't feeling that. And number 2, I was trying to condense the number of pages I wanted to use in my setup to try and give more pages to the back half. So I am going to test this layout, and that's basically just have my months broken up as like the lists, just kind of like your standard bullet journal style list. And then when I finish a book, then I'll put the book on that day and then their rating. That's kind of like just one big change that I did, basically to try and condense the number of spreads that I was making last year. These calendar stickers, these are from Planner Monkey Co. Okay, and that brings me to my very first theme and books 1 through 10. So this was like the magic to bullet journaling / reading journal / all the things last year, was I borrowed this format and I loved it so much that I decided to continue it and keep it going. So instead of basically waiting to do an entry on the book and do the decoration and maybe do monthly sections, because I've seen different reading journals where like you do like, here's my January TBR, here's my January spread of books. I have stopped doing TBRs. I really don't do TBRs anymore, which is why I also cut out a spread too. Like I cut out a spread that was like a list of books I want to read. I'm embracing the mood reader in me and not doing any kind of thing aside from the first law along spread that like dictates any specific books that I want to finish. So in order for me to do that, I've kind of like removed monthly TBRs and monthly reading goals, and I'm just documenting everything 10 books at a time. So this is my books 1 through 10 spread, and the table of contents where when I finish a book, I'll go ahead and put it on there with their star rating. I went with like a fall moth vibe. Again, Paper Minty Studio washi. And then I go ahead and pre-decorate for 10 books at a time. So I still have to document book number 3, but I've finished book 1 and 2, which was me finishing that Ravenel series written by Lisa Kleypas. And then I've already gone ahead and filled out or like pre-decorated the pages for books all the way to book number 10 of the year. And then it just makes it so simple to like paste down a picture of the book cover, and then I write down title, author, genre, mood, dates, and pages. And then write, my little synopsis and the thoughts and the feelings that I have had about the book. And then to summarize those 10 books, then I've saved a page for books 1 through 10 stats. And then I'll list my top 3 amongst those 10 books. So I haven't gotten started on my next theme, but that just keeps it really fresh for me in terms of like visual appeal, the way that I would if I had monthly setups. But it allows me to like pre-decorate, which always helps me out in terms of like filling out a journal or filling out a planner, filling anything out really. I'm massive on the pre-decorating. So that's what I've done for these two. They look so pretty together, and then I have their star rating down here. And how many pages did I use up so far? Did I even number? 37, 38. So this took me to 38 pages. So I think it's like a good mix of getting those like fun spreads in the front that I really like, kind of chopping out the ones that aren't serving me any kind of function anymore, which was basically those like TBR spreads. I'm embracing my mood readerness, like I said. And I think I can still be like a tracker of books and books that I love, but also be a mood reader. And that has been working out for me. So just flipping through this again so that way you can see everything one more time. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section below. If you want to know like some other supplies that I recommend or use, but basically it's like just the stickers, the washi, and then my primary Tombow colors that I really set up for the theme. And then for the next 10 books, I'll probably do a different color palette. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. I really hope that you enjoyed this. A lot of people liked the 2023 reading journal that I posted, so I definitely wanted to get the 2024 reading journal up and on this channel earlier in the year, so that way if you needed some inspiration for setting up your reading journals, it's not too late. It's still not too late to set up any kind of reading journal. Other than that, let's see, like, comment, and subscribe. Go ahead and put any kinds of comments you want down in the comment section below. I really miss the BookTube community. I'm really happy to be talking to you again, and you know how these videos end. I'll talk to you later. Bye.